Hey everybody, Eric Rock here, Spiritual Catalyst. So delighted to be speaking about the energies of 2025 and what we need to know so that we have an understanding of like, why is this happening to me? Why am I thinking like this? Etc. So we can keep this in the back of our minds as we journey forward, and from this place of awareness, we can make choices and decisions that are really optimal for us. So 2025 in numerology is a 9, and 9s are about completion of soul contracts, completion of karma, completion. And we will be called to let go of things that are past their contract point, whether that's relationships, whether that's letting go of an area you've lived in for a long time, careers, letting go of habits that we've been hanging on to, and our body is giving us messages. It's time to let that go, whatever that is for you, because it looks different for everybody. And the messages are going to get louder and louder and louder, and we can either make these changes willingly, gently, sweetly, consciously, or we will be forced to make the changes and go kicking and screaming. So the choice is ours, either doing it willingly or doing it via suffering. Because you guys know, like when we start to get a message like, hey, it's time to like stop eating processed food or sugar, or stop drinking alcohol, or whatever it is, and we don't listen, every time we put that in our mouth, it feels worse and worse and worse, right? And your body's like, stop doing this to me. But, that's the same in jobs. We're holding on to the job because we think, and I am not suggesting people run out and quit their jobs without having a backup plan. Let me just preface what I'm about to say. But when we're in a job that's not a vibrational match, it's not in harmony with our soul, getting up and driving there becomes heavier and heavier and feels worse and worse. And I've actually known people that they start to exhibit physical symptoms of disease or pain or dysfunction because they so don't want to go. And so then we create a reason to be able to call in sick. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever thought, God, I wish I had a cold today, and 15 minutes later, like your throat starts to itch and your nose gets all... We're powerful. Our mind is powerful. We are powerful. And when we have like strong emotion coupled with focused thought, we can create things very fast for the better and for the worse, right? If we're in relationships that we're holding on for whatever excuse, whatever reason we're giving ourselves, and the contract is up, it's beyond the expiration point, we will tend to increasingly find more fault with that person, find irritations, we'll start judging and critiquing, and they can't do anything right in our eyes. And it's like and it's especially challenging if you're in a relationship where it's not like they're cheating or abusing or there's this big thing, but perhaps the vibration has just shifted and we're just not in resonance anymore. But the mind, like, we want a big reason to leave, right? Like, if I could just catch them cheating, if I, like, these things, and, perhaps the universe is teaching you that there doesn't have to be a big thing to let go. And those can be very challenging conversations to have, right? And so, we are being challenged in all these ways to let go, to complete these cycles that we've grown beyond. Why? Because we're moving into something higher and better and more aligned and optimal, and it feels great, and it makes our heart open and want to sing and all this like luscious, delicious stuff. I've even seen sometimes if people aren't able to bring in abundance, which abundance, like when our heart is kind of closed and it's not fully open, abundance, it can be a challenge for that abundance on all levels. It's not just about money to show up. And when we are holding on to old things, the heart is not opening and flowing optimally. And then that can and will affect our abundance. Because it's all interconnected, right? Like you guys have seen this. Like if one area of your life is out of balance, it tends to affect a lot of other things. It's not compartmentalized to that area. So 2025, guys, it's time to let go. It's time to make that leap into the unknown. It's time to have more faith and trust in life and in the universe and God is all that is more than ever before. And for many of you, you're on a path of mastery. So what this can look like is, you're going down that yellow brick road and that part of the path, you've got to start putting your foot down. Trust, 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 trust. Boom. The path shows up for you to place your foot on. And then the next, and then the next, and it kind of unfolds that way. So we're really being called to move into that space of full faith and trust like never before. And I know that's not easy because the mind wants to know, where am I going? Where am I headed? How's it going to happen? When's it going to show up? Etc. And we're being called, the poles are shifting within our energetics where we're moving from head to heart and living life from this place, from intuition, from guidance, from wisdom, from the knowing deep, deep within your heart of what's right, what's optimal for you. And so 2025 is also a time for radical honesty and authenticity, radical honesty with yourself. The energy will be calling us to stop making excuses for certain things in our life. To change our stories and our narratives from the past that are no longer serving us, and that perhaps these stories, these things, they're not happening anymore. We're holding on to the energy and keeping it alive by continuing to tell that story that's holding us back, that's limiting us, that's lowering our vibe. So we're being called to let go of that. What's your new story? What do you want your new story to be? What legacy do you want to leave here on this planet? What's your dharma? How deeply do you truly know yourself? What your capacities are, what your strengths are, what your karma is, what's optimal for you, what do you stand for? What's important? What do you value? It's time to start asking ourselves these questions because the path of knowing the self is one of the most fulfilling paths we can take. And then the other thing we're being called into is starting to walk in beauty and love. And some of us are being called to take that sacred vow, which is this. May everything that shows up in my life, my response is love and compassion. Always, no matter what it is. The answer's love. And what that requires is radical honesty with the self, is being willing to look at the archetypal forces within such as the judge and the critic. And begin to let, as we take that vow, we begin to allow everything that's not a vibrational match and not in vibrational harmony with that vow to arise from the depths of our being, arise to the light of love so we can see it, we can alchemize it, transform it, transmute it, so that we can embody that love which we are made of. And we are returning to, we're allowing that love to blossom, to live from the heart. So what would your life look like if you took that vow? If you made that powerful decision that, you know what, everything that shows up in my life, I'm going to do my best. That my response is love. Not from wounded, the response or the reaction, not from woundedness, not from conditioning, not from the judge, the critic, not from misunderstanding, not through our distorted filters, not through the filters of what I've experienced in the past. I am clearing all of that away, so that my highest expression, which is love, can shine forth. But we have to be willing, all the places and spaces within that arise that is not love, that's where we do the work. And we have to be really willing to be honest, transparent, messy, to look at these things, to arrive at that place. So, look at what your life number is, because if it is a 9, if your life number is a 9 and we're moving into a 9, wow, like this is even more vital for you. But it's vital for everybody because we're all moving into this. And it's like the energy it's kind of like squeezing us so that the diamond within us, that diamond that we are, can emerge. So this step of moving into 2025 is the precursor for what comes next. And we've got to shed and clear the old to move into the new. And I know that, we've been practicing this for years. We're constantly being called, right? With these supermoons and these eclipses and solar flares and all these things. We've been being called to do this, but it's like, now it's for real. The practice session is over and it's time to let go. And as I said in the beginning, we can do so willingly or through struggle and screaming and kicking our way through it. The choice is ours. So these are just some highlights about 2025 and and what we're being called to do. And there's a lot more this video could be really long, but those are like highlights, things that really are important. And it's all awesome and perfect, and it's part of the divine plan and the divine design, and it's what we have contracted to do and to navigate, whether we're conscious of it or not. So I lay that at your feet sweetly and lovingly and embrace you with a big divine hug. As far as that, taking that sacred vow to respond to everything with love and compassion as much as possible, this is the sacred vow that came to me just in the last week or two to take. And so I invite you to take this vow with me, because it's so much more fun to do this hand in hand and dance into the golden light of love together and doing it alone. So if you're interested in taking this vow, and you can take it right now, put a yes or a hell yes or a heck yes or I am so in the comments below. And we're going to create this like field of resonance where we are making this powerful choice and decision together to move into this most beautiful phase. So that is what I have to share today. Thank you for connecting in and listening. If you have any questions or you want to share some of your insights about the energies we're moving into, and even what you're already feeling right now, post in the comments below. And that is that for today, but I will see you all soon. Much love, and bye for now.